everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to the SmackDown edition of the SLATE. It is December 4th, 2020, right here on the MrWarrenHayes YouTube channel, youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes, because guess what? Guess why? I am Mr. Warren Hayes. La, 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 la. Check that out. Isn't that wild? What is going on here? Look at this stupid poll, like all messed up there. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone is having a great end of their week as we settle in this evening once more for some more professional wrestling, courtesy of the fine folks at World Wrestling Entertainment, providing us with their sports entertainment product that we are anxious to digest. Let's put it that way. And we're not going to be overtly negative. This is not what this is about. We're here to preview the show, talk about what's coming up, what WWE has on the slate. And you know what's cool this week is that WWE has actually been putting things out, as opposed to last week when I started doing these things. It was like, oh no, 5 minutes before the show, we don't know exactly what's going on. Now we have some stuff to talk about, so that's good. So thank you everyone for joining me live tonight. We got a good crowd. Look at this. Some great people jumping in here. We've got Imran, who's here. Good to see you, Imran. Brian Payne as well. Hello, sir. Wrestling Plug Inc., whom you should follow on Facebook if you aren't already. You noobs! No, I didn't mean that. Do what you want, but I mean, I think you should follow Wrestling Plug, noob or not. Benoit is here. Good to see you, Benoit. Injection 2K. Cody Fosterling as well. Our boy Mark Wrestling Jeebus. Good to see you. Injection 2K as well. Justin Lopez. Manny Santos. Scott Frame. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's good to see you all. Good to have you. Good company. Good spirits. Good times. We're going to try and not talk about this. These are the topics I'm going to do my best to avoid tonight, because we're here to talk about SmackDown, right? So I'm going to try to avoid talking about Sting, talking about Impact Wrestling, and Kenny Omega. These are the three things I'm going to. Don Callis. Let's throw Don Callis into that as well. We're going to try to avoid speaking on all of those if y'all are okay with that, of course. Anyway, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad you guys are here as well. Good to see everyone. Let's start talking about it. Let's start talking about tonight's edition of WWE SmackDown. So I've been checking WWE.com on the official WWE. On the official SmackDown show page, just to make sure I don't miss any updates, occasionally refreshing Twitter. So, of course, if you guys see things pop up, let me know. Aaron Entertainment, good to see you. How are you? So, let's just go with the main attraction, the big thing that we have. First and foremost, well, actually, before that, no women's matches have been announced tonight. I kind of think that's a bummer. And like, I get it that Sasha and Bayley together were something special, but Sasha and Bayley, they're still on the show and they're still special, whether they're in a program with each other or not. So, yeah, you could still do something there. But Bianca Belair did tweet out that she was going to be on SmackDown tonight, so that's something which makes absolute sense. I talked about it. I've talked about it on this main stream yesterday. Oh, I don't even have. Hang on a second. Just realized I don't have the proper setup here. But I'll keep talking as we're. Look, I don't have. Here we go. We got to get rid of this logo and that logo. We got to put this logo here. See? That's how you do something. That's how you make a show happen. Jesus, Warren. So basically. What we have, so basically we're supposed to get, Bianca is going to pop in, and I think that's fantastic. Like I was talking about yesterday, I think that giving her Bayley to start with is a fantastic move. I think that it's the kind of feud that will elevate Bianca, will make her look good. It does have to kind of end with Bianca looking real strong and not pretend strong. I think a good clean win ultimately at the end over I think a good clean win over Bayley would do her wonders, and Bayley won't suffer. Bayley's not going to look any weaker. I think it's fine. I think it's absolutely okay if that happens. So I'm looking. I'm looking for some good Bianca stuff with Bayley tonight. Was pointed out in the chat that they have a Carmella and Sasha interview set up, and I'm trying to see. This is Manny Santos, whom I don't doubt. I'm just trying to see where they announced it, because I don't see it on the Twitter feed. But I mean, look, whether they've announced it or not, they have to do something with Carmella and Sasha more than the sneak attacks. Now there's actually something that has to happen. I'm still very curious to see how this feud is going to go forward, because I'm very, very interested in seeing what they're going to do with Carmella. That's what I'm really interested in seeing. Whether they because Carmella could work. Carmella can work. We've seen that happen before. We've seen her wrestle. So she's had this time to train, perfect. With Sasha, I think there's something interesting here. Oh, he said on the email for WWE, the email preview for WWE. They do that. They still do that. I didn't realize they still had the mailing list stuff. Okay, thank you, Manny, for that. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I want to say hello to Reese on Wrestling as well, and Chef Dad 2000 Show. Thank you very much, guys. If you want to vote in the poll that we have going right here, you see the options that are right there. You just have to type directly in the chat !vote and your choice. Just go right ahead. Gives you a little something to ponder as I keep talking. So so there we go. So that's what we're doing here tonight. As far as the polls go. Kevin Owens and Otis are going to be facing Roman Reigns and Jey Uso tonight, straight off the heels of the events that happened last week, where Jey Uso pummeled the hell out of Otis at the beginning of a segment, and Kevin Owens at the end of SmackDown pummeled the hell out of Jey Uso because he wants to get under Roman's skin. I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like Kevin Owens is a good next contender for Roman. I think it's interesting, super interesting actually, that we're in a position where you have Kevin Owens, who is a good babyface, despite always being like this amazingly dastardly heel, right? Despite all of that, there he is as a babyface, and Roman, who is the top heel, right? The absolute top heel in the company. Like who else? Like who else would be a better heel? Not a better heel, but who else would be a better contender for Roman on SmackDown right now than Kevin Owens? You sort of get the feeling, are they saving Daniel Bryan? Because Daniel Bryan could be an argument, right? He could be a very interesting. It could be a very interesting argument, but I think I think they might be saving Daniel Bryan for Roman, maybe a little down the line, which would be okay. I'd love a Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns match in this context right now. I'd absolutely love it. Hey, Thomas Gories, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. And DGMC as well. And no, not Goldberg. I said a good contender for Roman. We're talking about a good contender. Not Goldberg! My God, you people, Evan! My God. And Nikki, it's good to see you as well. Welcome to the chat. So into the match, the match tonight. Roman and Jey versus Kevin and Kevin Owens and Otis. I mean, it's kind of obvious to me, right, that Otis is in this match to eat a pin. Doesn't it feel that? Because they're not putting any stock into Otis these days. It's still fascinating to me that they decided to break up. The heavy machinery team, and if only on the strength that you were like, okay, well, they're finally pulling the trigger on giving Otis that proper singles run and have him be unfettered from his team, but they're not even doing anything with him. You know, they're not even doing. They're doing nothing with they're doing nothing with him right now, which is fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating. Like, I don't know why it's still a mystery why they decided to break them up. It's not as if the tag team division is all that is overflowing with tag teams for the champions. You know, they'll always say, "Oh, plans change." Yeah, well, to me, sometimes for a plan to change, that implicates that you actually have some forward thinking, which in a lot of occasions I feel WWE doesn't have. It's more like, well, let's split up Otis, we'll see what happens kind of thing. Honestly, I think this match should be pretty good. I think, but it's clearly going to be a match that is going to be used to further storylines. In particular, the Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns story, because that is going to have to culminate at TLC. That's something that's going to happen. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes tonight. But if anything, storyline wise, everything that Roman's been doing is the most interesting. So I'm looking forward to see to see how things go. We got a super chat from Injection 2K. Thank you very much, Injection 2K. It says, quick question. What is a good person befriending a monster storyline? What is a good person befriending a monster storyline? In wrestling, I'm assuming you're talking about a good person befriending a monster. When's the last time we saw something? I'm drawing blanks here. When's the last time we saw like a baby face become friends with a complete and utter heel? Well, I mean, kind of like X-Pac and Kane. But was X-Pac a good person?
Oh, yeah.
You know? But I mean, I guess they sort of wanted to go down that route, though. You know, have him be, I guess, maybe to a certain extent. Yeah, in the chat, Rob Van Dam befriending Kane was pretty good. AJ Lee and Kane, that's really good too. I agree. That's a really good example there. Funny how it's all Kane. Do we consider Alexa Bliss to have befriended, like, and that twisted her? Like, because she was a good person at this point, up until the moment where she became like Bray Wyatt's playmate, right? I guess maybe. But I think the examples that Chad has been putting up are much more interesting. So that's really good. Evan Wright left us a super chat. Thank you very much. Evan, he says, off topic. Nothing is ever off topic on the Mr. Warren Hayes streams. I shouldn't have said that. But did you read the Montez explanation for them trading tag belts? Compared it to Andre/$1 Million Man, incredible. Yeah, I did hear that. And I don't know, like, this sucks. Because Montez Ford shouldn't have to go out and defend bad creative ideas. You know, because no, it has nothing to do with Andre and $1 Million Man. Especially when you consider that Andre handed the belt over to Ted DiBiase, but then WWF President Jack Tunney invalidated that trade and it vacated the title. So it's like, no, we can't do this. That's not how belts work. So that makes sense. Adam Pearce, who at that point we're still like, what is his role? And at this point we're still, yes, what is Adam Pearce's role in W? He just he took one belt and he just swap dudes. And like, it's not. It's still bad. It's still super lazy. It's just bad creative is what it is. And it sucks. It sucks that Montez is out there trying to defend that poop. I was going to use another word. We're going to use poop for now because it's festive. Look how festive I am. King Corbin will have a rematch tonight against Buddy Murphy because last week the entire Mysterio family fucked with Baron Corbin. See, here's the thing. Just before I said that word, in a couple of sentences previous to that, I said I'm going to use poop instead of another word, and here I am going fuck. So I have zero consistency. Don't ever hire me for anything. Baron Corbin, King Corbin, is going to have his rematch against... So, I felt bad for Baron Corbin last Friday. I really, really, really did. And I was like, I can't hate this guy right now. I think it sucks. Everyone's getting their cheap shots in. Everyone's distracting the ref. And I was like, am I supposed to boo for Baron Corbin? Because right now I kind of feel bad for him. He's coming out to have a match and he gets screwed over by the Mysterios who now want to make sure that good guy Buddy now, good guy Buddy dating his 12-year junior girlfriend, they want to make sure that he wins his match. And it sucks for Buddy Murphy too, because Buddy Murphy he's a great wrestler. He doesn't need all these shenanigans. That also kind of stinks. So listen, Baron Corbin right here, going to get back into this match, going to try and get some revenge. Someone said in the chat, I can't see it up there. Oh, there we go. Cody Fosterling said, I smell 50-50 booking, and I do too. I do too. And probably King Corbin is going to come to the ring with folks, with underlings, with whatever. And man, can you believe that you have that? I mean, I'm going to hammer this home every time. Rey Mysterio, legitimate legend, and this is the most interesting stuff you have for him. It's like, oh, yeah, well, we'll do stuff with your family, Ray, and we'll have and Buddy Murphy will be your new son-in-law, and it'll be great. Look, I kind of have a feeling that they're covering for an injury, probably. They're making sure that, that's the only explanation I have, why they're not putting Ray in the ring more, why they're not having him work programs for himself, as opposed to all these proxy feuds that he's been involved in, which I think stink. But it's just fascinating that you have, here's the dichotomy here. You have a legend like Undertaker, and I'm talking about WWE, who you keep putting into matches, into big time storylines, but again, all due respect, this isn't enough. But Undertaker couldn't go in the ring anymore, and it would have been a while since he could go in the ring. And that's the truth. Whereas you have Rey Mysterio, who is another legitimate legend, super loved by the fans, and he can go, and he can go more than he did during his mid-2000 run with the company. And you're saddling him with these weird storylines. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, the whole Mysterio family thing, it's weighing down on everything. And if you can imagine, it's weighing down on Baron Corbin, and it's weighing down in a way that I feel bad for him. I think he should, turn babyface at this point. Isn't that wild? Over on Raw, we're supposed to cheer for Lana, after Survivor Series when she didn't do shit. She's just walking around going, I'm so glad to be here, you know? Anyway. Can't say I'm excited for this match, but I guess I'm curious. The same way that you're curious to, you know, when the same level of curiosity as, you know, when you walk by a car wreck. Evan Wright left us a super chat. Thank you again, Evan. He says they're killing any momentum Dom Mysterio had. With excellent point you just brought up there, because Dominic was hot. He was hot with the Seth stuff and getting the shit beat out of him. This is all things that happen. They were building him. There was something happening there, and look at what happened now. Look at where he is now. It's like he's playing second fiddle to his sister's relationship. But this is WWE, right? You gotta cool them down. You can't let them get too hot. You gotta bring it back a bit. You gotta cool them down. Cool them down. What a jip. Oh, hello there, Kristen Ashley, the First Lady of the MrWarrenHayes Show. Good to see you. Welcome to the chat. And the other thing that we have on the plan, on the tribute, well, yes, it is a tribute that we have set up on the for the show for SmackDown tonight. SmackDown is actually going to open with a tribute to Pat Patterson. Basically what they're saying on WWE.com is the WWE family is going to be honoring the life of the first ever Intercontinental Champion. And I think a little earlier on, I'm just scrolling back in the chat. Yeah, that's right. Manny Santos, in the same email, the email preview that WWE sends out, says that Sammy and Shinsuke and Dolph versus Ray, Bryan, and Big E in a special 6-man match tribute. So that's something that's going to be happening. Manny should, I think he should be our special email correspondent, because they don't mention this anywhere on any of the written materials they have out there on the website, and it's weird you'd want to put that out, right? I talked a bit about Pat Patterson last night on the stream, and how his relationship, or at least the relationship that I developed with his television personality, was molded very, very young because of how much he was involved on WWE programming in French Canada, and how he was just hilarious in interviewing wrestlers in French, and then speaking to them in English, right? That most of the wrestlers couldn't speak French, didn't understand what he was talking about, so he'd insult them in French for the viewing audience, but then be all nice and smiles and super disingenuous when he talked to them in English again. I mean, it is a huge loss for WWE. This is a guy who was so important from tippy top to bottom, in everything, matches and in booking as well. Vince's right hand man. Of course, they're going to make a big deal out of it. Of course, Pat was embroiled in his own controversies throughout the years as well. Just recently saw and I retweeted it just before coming on. Well, not just before, I'd say about an hour ago. Some video of Roddy Piper a few years ago giving a shoot interview talking about Pat and getting very, very choked up about his first experiences with Pat, and saying some very, very distressing and strange things. This is but these are the stories that we've heard about Pat Patterson. And it's the kind of thing that unfortunately will follow his legacy, despite everything that he did give to the business. There's this cloud that follows him, and just makes things, I guess, a little uncomfortable ultimately, right? But I mean, I completely understand why WWE is making a big deal out of this. He was close with the McMahons for years. And he did it all in the company after he retired in 1984 from active competition. He just did it all. So we'll see what they have in store with this tribute match as well. I think it's a nice little mix of people they have there. It'll be good stuff. So we'll see what they do with that tribute. But man, I'm gonna tell you once again, I'm kind of bummed that there's nothing related to women that's been advertised tonight. Outside of, like we said, Bianca. Oh, and the alleged not the alleged, but the interview between Carmella and Sasha Banks, which again was announced in Manny's very, very private email communication that he gets with WWE. Outside of that, Bianca showing up. I mean, they could do something. They could just throw a match together, right? Isn't that something they could do? They could just put Bianca in a match and say Bianca's fighting, I don't know. No, Dana's on the other side now. Bianca versus, who they got? Liv? Could be that. So, we'll see. We'll see what all this happens, but it's like I often say, if you don't make your women or any wrestler, right? Any woman or any wrestler, if you don't make them feel like a big deal, no one's going to care about them. If you don't care about them, no one else is going to care about them. It's just that simple. So there we go. We're pretty much wrapping up here tonight on another stream, another pre-stream here on the Mr. Warren Hayes Show channel, another edition of the Slate. If you are currently not a member of the Mr. Warren Hayes Discord, this is the time to do it. Pop on in. The link is in the description. Join the Discord and come and live watch SmackDown with us tonight. It's a good group. And we call them as we see them. When we like the stuff, we say, this is good. When we don't like it, we say, this is not so good. And it's a good time. Some people see it as a support group, as therapy. I see it as fun times on the internet. Sure beats a lot of other places out there. I'll tell you that much. I don't know what I'm talking about, really. Evan Rightlift does a super chat. Thank you very much. Says Manny is backstage with Ben in catering. See, these are little inside jokes that we have on the Discord that you can come join in on. Because there's this rumor going around that Ben hangs around catering in WWE, and he gets the results, because Ben always has the results of a match. He reacts to them in the Discord way before anyone else. So people are like, wait, hang on a second. Do you have a direct feed? Now Manny has direct communications with WWE. I think there's collusion. Maybe Manny and Ben are the same person. Let's go. We can go hard on these conspiracy theories tonight if we want. We can absolutely do. But yeah, do consider coming and jumping into the Mr. Warren Hayes Show Discord. It really is a nice place. Some good people. Lots of regulars from the Mr. Warren Hayes Show chatter there. So come on in. It's as they say, a good time. If you liked what just happened here right now, consider giving the video a thumbs up. That's absolutely fantastic. I really would appreciate it. Then Google is like, hey, maybe next time this guy does a stream, we'll put him up on the front page so that millions of people can jump in and tell him he sucks. Which is usually what happens when you end up on the front page of Google. So I'm down for that. A little abuse from randos. If I want abuse from randos, I'll just go on Twitter. Folks, I want to thank you all for popping into another edition of the Slate tonight. Reminder, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, I will be joined by Spencer Love. We are going to be recapping NXT War Games. Not recapping, but we're going to be doing our prediction show together tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. Be sure you're here for that. Same channel, same place, same good looks. Thank you, everyone. Have a great SmackDown. See you tomorrow.